Hello, friends. 7:30 in the morning right now, where I am. And you might be thinking, hey, didn't I just see you on a stream last night? Yes. Yes, you did. And I thought I'd jump on this morning and talk about something that popped into my head. I started playing around with the harmonica, and I'm like, this is something I should share. So I'm going to share this. All you need is an A harmonica, and yeah, let's do this. I'm really excited to share it because I think let me explain what I'm going to do. I'm going to take some simple patterns for the 1 chord, the 4 chord, and the 5 chord that require no bending, but you'll practice this in all tongue block fashion. You can try to leave the tongue on the harmonica and play this with me in a smooth kind of, moving around with the tongue not coming off or coming off, and giving it a little slap. But the idea is that you're not puckering. And so before I share it with you, I just want to make this, not make a case for it, but just say that I think while I'm a hybrid player and I use puckering in tongue blocking, it's something that tongue blocking is a huge part of my sound, and I'm a big believer and proponent of encouraging people to tongue block as much as you can. It provides great texture, great tone, and even some opportunities for more rhythmic interaction with the tongue coming on and off. So here's the gist of what I'm talking about. 1 chord. So I'm just going to play around with these first, and then I'll bring up like a whiteboard perhaps, and we'll type some of this out. So grab your A harmonica, and let's try this. And welcome if there's anybody tuning in. I have no idea, but I'm going to bring it up on my phone here. Here we go. It is on my phone. Good morning. So here we go. Early morning blues. Get a sip of coffee for this. Got my Zubar shirt on. The Dig 3 was out there playing in Lincoln, Nebraska at the Zubar. That was a blast. So here it goes. That's your 1 chord line. And I absolutely will encourage you to kind of ear train this before I pull up the whiteboard and share the notes. So before you just sit around waiting for the notes to pop up and play the notes, try this with me. I'll play it one more time. This is the 1 chord, real slow. And my idea was to try to incorporate as much of the harmonica as possible. So you notice that this, if you can play it, you'll notice that this goes from the 6 hole down to the 3 hole. Nice little spread there. And I'm going to do the same thing, incorporate a different zone on the 4 chord. You'll see. So slowly it sounds like this. Whoops. So there's that. And then the 4 chord kind of goes like a... from the 7 hole to the 5 hole. That will get played twice, which will take up 2 bars of the 12 bar. All right. And then the 5 chords only comes up for a measure, so you don't really need to get too fancy with it. I actually encourage you to sort of play something very simple on the 5 chord. Could be something like that. We'll play around with maybe a couple different ideas. Now, if you're sitting here thinking, but what about octaves and splits? You can bring those into some of these phrases for sure. I think it's wise to practice single notes first if you're new to tongue blocking, because most people jump in and get those octaves and splits going before they ever experiment with the single note stuff. And the single note stuff is powerful, especially the slaps. So I'm going to play it one more time in all the way through so you can hear it, and then I'll bring up some notes and we can try this. Here we go. A harmonica. Let me play that 5 chord again. Actually, I should have just finished it, but let me play that 5 chord. This is the first time we've played it all the way to the 5. All right. And then the 4 chord. So I really like this because there's no bending needed. And as a beginner, it obviously would make sense for you to focus on tongue blocking without bends first, okay? So here it is. I'm going to bring it up on the whiteboard. All right, everybody see the whiteboard? I can draw. Well, I should not have done that. I don't know if I can erase this. How come this is not full screen? Hopefully you guys can see this okay. I'll know in a minute. I'm going to look. I wish I did not do that. How do I erase? Hold on a second. There we go. I want to just erase this little thing. How do I erase? I never used that particular tool. Ronnie, what did you do? Shapes, lines, draw. There's got to be an erase button here somewhere, right? Son of a gun. Definitely. I know how to create text, but I want to remove this because I'm a little OCD about having this sitting here. So, oh well. Here it is, eraser. Yay. Hooray for that. Here we go. So let's write it out. We're talking tongue blocking. And you can come back here, use this video. Hopefully help me out. Come back and use this video and practice to the video. And obviously you might want to write out these notes. Perhaps I'll just create a PDF of the notes and I'll put a link to a Google Drive document in the video description. That's what I'll do. And then you can download this. But I would love it if you came back and practiced with the actual video. That would help me out. So tongue blocking 12 bar practice. That's what we're going to call this. We're going to take a 1 chord. We're going to take a 4 chord idea. And we're going to take maybe a couple 5 chord ideas. All right. But the 1 and the 4 will stay the same. The goal is that you're just tongue blocking all this. Now, no, that's not right. This is a 4 draw. Let me just explain my tablature. If it's just a number by itself, just blow on it. If there's a minus sign in front of it, you'll simply breathe in. You'll draw. So there's kind of a way to think about this section as like 2 little phrases, right? We got the first part. Nice and easy, right? First 4 notes. And then you got this section. And you're going to play this 4 times around. Okay? Pretty simple, right? So go ahead and just try that. Let's just play that a few times together. Now, let me back all this up. Ronnie, you're way ahead of yourself. Because, there's somebody watching this video. Use the comments right now. Let me know. Is anybody watching this video going, this is great information, but I can't tongue block? How is that going to help me? Well, I'll share a tip with you on how to get a single note right now before we go any further. But I've got several classes on tongue blocking. If you want to get deeper into this, I will link those classes below. And there's 15% off right now for YouTube viewers. I put a coupon on the last video that is good for another day. So I'll remind you and put that all in the video description. But the tip I'll give you for getting a single note is that most people focus on the right side of their mouth. So their tongue, let me just show you what I mean. Their tongue is kind of to the left, let's say, and we're going to try, most people will get it right on the right side. Whoops. 4 blow. And that's what it looks like. If I take the harmonica away, that as silly as that looks, that's what's happening. It's kind of the side top of the right side of your tongue that is blocking holes 1, 2, and 3 to get 4 blow out of the side of your mouth. Make sense? All right. You're kind of getting up. Now, if you're not getting it and you're getting, anybody getting that? Somebody's getting that. You gotta lean a little bit and get that sealed into the side of the corner of your mouth here. See that shape that's created? All right. If you're practicing right now and you're like, well, it sounds like it's dirty notes to me, more than one note happening at the same time, just you can still work these patterns. You can work them as pucker players, but the idea was let's do it tongue blocked. Okay, here we go. Now we're going to jump into the 4-chord idea, and I like this one because it puts you past hole 6. And on some unusual or different note choices than most people might use. So that's how it starts. And again, you can think of this in 2 kind of phrases if you'd like. Yeah, why not just give that a little separation to show you that and we would play that twice, everybody. Go 2 times around on that. And then the 5 chord shows up. It's only for a measure. It's 4 beats, so you really don't want to get too complicated. Keep it simple. Remember, the idea is you're practicing tongue blocking. So, all right, so we got to bring back the 1 chord. If we're being thorough here, I would show you that the 1 chord shows up again, but not for 4 times, for 2 times around. Now we're on the 5 chord. So what do we want to do for this? Usually I would center just a simple idea around the 4 draw because it's the root, which is what I'm trying to work out right here in the moment. I think that's what I played originally, so I'm going to stick with that. Now let's talk about the timing of this and how I'm laying this out. I am using a little bit of tongue slapping. That's nice though. It's different and it follows the cadence and flow of the other lines, okay? By the time we get to bar 10, which is the 4 chord here, the challenge you have is that it also only comes up for a measure. So maybe you play something modified off of what we did for the 4 chord. What could that be? Let me play through and see if I can come up with something. You could play it. You could just play it once. You could play it. So let me do that. Let's keep it. Let's not overcomplicate it. I will just go ahead and just put that down because it can fit. Maybe just take away one of the 7s to change it up a little. You don't need that extra 7. I just threw it in just because that's what I was feeling at the moment. Okay? Now, let's drag this all the way to the top. Then you just come back for the 1 chord and you're done. You would simply play this original line. Play it twice because it comes around, 2 times. So if there's nothing there, you're playing it once. If it's indicated that 4 or 2, it's obviously more than once, so you would just go with what it says there. Now, we're just going to play this a few times. I think that's the best way to get the most out of this video. If you want to if you can produce a single note tongue blocked, you're in great shape, and you can just come back and work out as many versions as you can, by the way, of simple lines that require no bending that you can use in that tongue block fashion. So, and maybe I'll play around with in a second, see if I can come up with any other ideas. But really, I think it's smart to just stick to one thing, use it to practice the approach. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And does that really work in a sounds like don't get around much? That goes like it is similar. You're right. I love that line. The difference is he from the sixth blow he skips the five and goes right to four draw, and then four blow. It's a really, in fact, that's a song study that I've wanted to bring into harmonica 1, 2, 3 classes. I've I've talked about offering up that one and one other one that I love by him. God, what's the name of it? I don't know. But there's so many good instrumentals from Big Walter. Yeah. All right. So you've got this stuff worked out. What else could you do? And I intentionally brought in the one chord with descending from the six to incorporate, a few different, instead of just sticking with one or two holes on a one chord, let's move around a little bit with it. So in real improvisation, how am I using tongue blocking? I'm using a lot of it like this, where I'm not bending. Splits, octaves, single note slaps on draw and blow notes. But I am, as I said yesterday in the live stream last night, I do practice bending. Even this morning, I woke up and practiced it. Right, first thing going. You can hear how my bends are not as strong as if I pucker. They're much cleaner. And I have more control. So I'm sitting around practicing the three draw half step and full step, trying to get the four to cooperate. And that way, why would I do that if I don't use it in my approach at this point, almost 30 years into my playing? I can't believe that. Is that true? Almost, 28, I don't know. Because there's value in learning something new, just going through the motion of practicing, right? Let's save this before I forget. All right, we'll put that down there. But then the texture and color you might get would be really beneficial. So if you missed it, I had up all the notes if you're just joining. Yeah, Easy's a great one, Ken. You're right. Big Walter's Easy is a great one to practice up to a point, right? The intro sounds like this. Let's do that. Let's just play Easy. You can go look this up, but you can just go. Hey, I got a little bend out of that tongue blocked. You can overblow with tongue blocking. I don't. I can't. I don't really use much tongue blocking, but you can do that. And then I think the real benefit as a blues harmonica player, the main thing you're thinking about is the texture and sound that you get, the difference. I am not saying that you should tongue block everything because that's not. I don't think that way. I don't believe that. I actually think that what's really cool is to bring in both a hybrid approach and get the sound, the unique kind of sound and fluidity that you get from puckering, which I am more than happy with my sound or tone in that pucker embouchure, mixed with back and forth. For me, a lot of people I think are confused. They'll be like, why would you go back and forth? Isn't that a lot to manage? Not for me. It doesn't feel that way. It feels very natural and comfortable to go back and forth. And I'll just play a little bit of that to let you hear how that might sound. Like here, I'll try to take the lines we played earlier. You guys want to see that again? I see there's more people in here, so let me just bring it up. There's what we were looking at. So how would I play this? This could make for a really good discussion, actually. How would I play this hybrid? You don't need to because there's really no bending and there's no really fast movements and speed going on. But I could take this portion right here and do more pucker on this, like this. I do want to tongue block. I would normally tongue block that, but I think it behooves you to just stick to tongue blocking for that line. Actually, all this. So let's talk about why then. That makes for a better conversation. When is it that I'm going back and forth, and when would I stick? I just said it. If there's no bending and these lines are not moving like crazy fast, you're not trying to get. That's more pucker, right? Then stick to tongue blocking. There's nothing getting in the way. There's no major challenge that you have to overcome. So why not stick to it? All you have to do is get around being able to produce that single note. How many people here use the chat? I want to know. There's not a ton of people, but there's 16 people right now. I realize it's 8 in the morning, at least where I am. But how many people here can tongue block or can't tongue block? Let me know where you're at. Yeah, I just did I hosted a Louisiana harmonica summit, Steve, all about Zydeco and Cajun music, and we talked about tongue blocking a bunch. You can find that on harmonica123.com. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of tongue blocking, especially in the splits and octaves. I'm not really a Cajun player, but you can hear how the octaves come into play a bunch. So how many people here can produce a single note? If you can, you got this cool little exercise to work through, and try to come up with other ones. Like we played Easy. That's a good one. Why not? But yeah, I will go ahead and put this PDF into a Google document, and then as a PDF, and then I'll put a download link in the video description for everybody if you want to grab it. Oh, you did see it, Steve. Cool. Yeah, exactly. So, when do I go back and forth? How does that work? When there's bends that come in. That's the example number one. So now we're switching gears and talking a little bit about how to develop this hybrid approach, which is absolutely the way I play. You want to think about, if you're going to pucker, if you choose to pucker the majority of your bends, which I do, how can you get good at going? So the first part is puckered, because there's some bending in that 3/4 draw on the 3/2 step. Tongue block the 4 blow. Then it's going to go to pucker where I bend it. I stay puckered for the bend and the draw. Even right there. Tongue blocking is good for jumping really quick from like a 2 draw and tongue block that 6 blow. So I guess I could fully go bananas and analyze it all, but it's just to show you that for me, it feels very comfortable to go. You can hear what I'm tongue blocking, right, guys? Girls? I say guys as plural. I grew up in the Midwest. You can hear this, right? This when I'm tongue blocking, when I'm not. Right there, obviously tongue block. Puckered from here. Just the first 2 notes. There's a bend. Then I go back to tongue block on the 4 draw. And the 5 blow. Then to a pucker on the bend. And for me, it feels super comfortable. I just want to reiterate that. It's not a struggle whatsoever. It feels great to go back and forth. All right, I'm off it. That's the exercise for today. Tongue blocking. If you missed it, come back. There were notes up on the screen. Check the video description. I don't know. And in 30, 40 minutes, if you're really that anxious, and I'll update the video with tongue blocking classes and the notes that were up on the screen so you can download them. If you want to get heavy into tongue blocking, I had a summit called Beyond Tongue Blocking 101 with James Conway. He is a world-class harmonica player and a really advanced full-time tongue blocker. Joe Falisco jumped in on that class for a moment too. And James just delivered an amazing class. This summit's very thorough. Pardon me. I'll put that in the video description, and I'll also put other tongue blocked classes that I've done and offered where it's more beginner oriented, where you can get started. And that's what I've got today. Thanks for joining me. I told you I'm going to try to be more active. I'm doing my best here. I'm excited to be on live early in the morning and doing even an evening live stream. That was fun last night. If you missed it, go check it out. We talked about who knows what. It's called Grab Your A Harmonica. And I hope to see you soon. I hope to see some of you on Saturday. If you want to learn Christmas songs, join us. Joe Falisco will be there laying down 5 Christmas songs. And I will tackle a little bit of Jingle Bells and show you how I layer in the tongue blocking for Jingle Bells, which I'm excited to do. And then Howlin' Wolf on the 30th. All this stuff will be updated in the video description for you. I hope you make it a wonderful rest of your day.